Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter. Thank you so much for taking a moment out of your schedule to take a look at this video. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, listen, we're going to get into it. There's more about Supermayor, Miss Tiffany Dolton. So we are going to take a look at a new video that came out as I record this just yesterday. So, new information. I did look up some stuff. I tried to Google some stuff. I couldn't find anything that was new. This is the end of May as I'm recording this, so we're going to take a look and see what's new. And so I started to watch this. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's all watch it together. So we're going to watch the latest in Dolton, more subpoenas, new lawsuits, latest allegations against the mayor and others. So let's get into it.
I told you, this story has so many twists and turns. Sometimes I am so overwhelmed by just everything that's going on. You know, I told my husband the other day, I said, I want to move to Dolton. I want to move there so I can be right there, because literally there is a story every day happening in this community, and I don't want to miss anything. Since our last video, so much has happened. We're talking more lawsuits, a grand jury, the subpoenas, the mayor's former assistant speaking out. Where do we begin? Let's start first with this federal grand jury and the subpoenas, which we have copies of thanks to someone very close to this investigation. So let's unpack these subpoenas. There's a lot in the subpoenas. So we know that a grand jury has been seated since November. Now, May 20th and May 13th, that's when Dolton's custodian of records was to appear before this special grand jury and bring with them a whole slew of documents for Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Administrator Keith Freeman, and also Trustee Andrew Holmes, as well as several other companies and individuals. Now, we're talking about financial reports, budgets, accounting records, receipts, also requested reimbursement documents, loans, work schedules, travel records paid for by the municipality, including documents for that infamous trip to Las Vegas, where the mayor's ex-assistant says she was assaulted. Also requested are the mayor's records for her charitable organizations. And these records, again, were to be presented to the grand jury May 20th, May 13th. Now, for that May 13th subpoena, the village...
Man, so the grand jury was convened or put into effect in November. And so they got to bring these records. They had to bring the records for hearings on the 13th and the 20th. So the news is a little bit late here. I mean, I'm watching this. When was this done? This is one day ago as I record this. So why are they so late with recording this? That's kind of wild. But, and again, I don't know. Sometimes the news, man. Sometimes the news. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, let's keep going.
Custodian of records requests to bring personnel and disciplinary files for almost 30 people, as well as documents related to companies Village Administrator Keith Freeman is involved with. Now, in April, Keith Freeman was indicted for bankruptcy fraud. The village and the mayor have not responded to our request for comments. But we were in court when Keith Freeman made his first appearance with his attorney. Now, Freeman didn't speak to any reporters who were there, but his attorney did. And he said Freeman is not stepping down from his position in the village or his position in Thornton Township. So when we talk about grand jury...
None of that is surprising, right? Because stepping down, even though it would be better for for transparency for the city and the town, the village, to move forward with their political agendas and all that, it just serves as a distraction, and people aren't going to do it, right? So we know this from history that people aren't going to do it, right? It seems as if when and if you do step down, it's just looked at as guilt. So he's not going to step down, and I but he's got an attorney and he's just got indicted. So they are coming. They are coming. They are going through things. They're going through records. They're taking it seriously. And listen, I said it before in other podcast, right? So I hail from a city that was known for its political corruption, and they are going to be very, very thorough. They are going to be very, very thorough.
Proceedings. What happens during the grand jury? We don't know, because those proceedings are secret. So we don't know right now if the custodian of records brought all those documents as they were supposed to, but a source familiar with this matter tells me that the village has asked for an extension. So let's talk about Fania Dukes. She is the mayor's former assistant, and she claims that on a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas 1 year ago in May, she was assaulted by trustee Andrew Holmes. Now, Fania...
Listen, listen. If they can prove that this woman was assaulted on the city's, villages, townships' dime, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my, I mean, the financial ruin that could come from that. The financial ruin could come from that. I might try to have a lawyer up here to talk, we'll kind of talk about this. Yeah, this is absolute madness. Absolute madness. So the grand jury proceedings, secret, we don't know what's going on. And then, that's really just a determination to see if there's probable cause and see if there was any type of abuse, allegations, fraud, theft, inappropriate execution of funds, et cetera, right? So that's what that grand jury is. What is a grand jury? It's just it's not. I want to say it's a formality, but it's a process by which people, the government will try to do a fact finding mission to determine if there was any type of inaccuracies, illegal actions, and determine if the probable cause and should arrests be made and things along those lines. Again, I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm sure that a lawyer would be able to explain that far better than I. But I'm trying to give you the inner workings of the political ideologies and the inner workings of what's going on and all that. So yeah.
Issued a video statement where she says she is a survivor. She talks about what allegedly happened before and after that trip to Vegas. She's also filed a civil lawsuit against Mayor Henyard and Trustee Holmes, accusing Holmes of assault and accusing Tiffany Henyard of retaliation. Now, according to the suit, after dinner, she walked the Las Vegas Strip with Trustee Holmes. She says she felt disoriented and ultimately blacked out. Now, she says in her words, again in the lawsuit, the last memory she has is waking up in his hotel room. According to the
let me just say, man, let me just put this out there. I do not know. I don't know what anybody gets out of drugging women, women, and having your way with an unconscious body. I really don't understand that. I'm not trying to get somebody to get me to understand it, but I mean, I like participation. I like participation, and for somebody just to be unconscious, I don't get that. I don't understand it. During my time in the PD, I can remember being out. I can remember, at the PD, we would break up fights, and Friday, Saturday nights, we'd break up fights all the time. Right, so therefore we would be outside of clubs, bars, and so therefore at the hot spots, we would have officers there to facilitate moving in the crowd so people don't get antsy and start fighting and all that kind of stuff. And I'm standing there a lot of times, younger officer, right? I got to be out there in the mix, telling people to move on, and sometimes I would just talk to the ladies, they would come out inebriated, drunk, right? And I would talk to them, if they weren't too far gone and stuff. I'm like, have you ever, has anybody ever slipped or anything? They were like, yeah, it happened to me a couple times or one time. And you're here again? I don't listen. I don't understand it. I don't understand what anybody gets out of doing that. I don't understand it. What college campuses, bar fights, bars, politicians doing it to anybody who does it. I don't get what you can gain from an unconscious body. I don't get that.
Lawsuit, Fania says she was fired shortly after bringing the accusation against Holmes to Mayor Henyard. So in the May 6th village board meeting, well, guess who shows up there? There's a large crowd of people waiting to get into this village board meeting. It starts late, but Fania shows up outside. She speaks to the crowd. She says, thank you for supporting me. And she also talked about the foundation that she has started to help support women like her. So we have sent Trustee Andrew Holmes repeated requests. I have sent him personal requests via text, phone call, emails for any type of statement or response to this. Now, he does read the text messages. I get the receipts showing that they have been read, but he has not offered any official statement or spoken to me about these allegations.
He ain't gonna talk to you. He ain't gonna talk to you. He gonna lawyer up. He ain't gonna talk to you. He ain't gonna talk to you. He ain't gonna talk to you.
A few weeks ago, we were told that Sam Adam Jr. is his attorney. The office told me no comment when I called and asked for a statement. They said no comment. So that led me to believe that's his attorney. I was told that's his attorney. Call a few weeks ago, right after this, I am told Sam Adam is not representing Andrew Holmes. I said, did his office ever represent Andrew Holmes? I was told Sam Adams does not represent Andrew Holmes. So, of course, Andrew Holmes is a well-known community.
They're washing their hands of this brother. Listen, man. They are washing their hands of this brother. Listen. And did he ever represent him? Sam Adams is not. They are not representing this dude. They are not. They are washing their hands of him. I don't want anything to do with him. Don't bring him up to me. Don't bring him into his office. Don't do nothing. We don't want to hear his name. You gotta whisper his name, write it down on a piece of paper. We are not talking about this guy.
Activists, crime scenes, he is there, helping grieving families when they need someone the most. When there's been a shooting, a crime, an incident, he's always there. The face, the name, people, a lot of Chicagoans, they know who this man is. But the nonprofit he worked for, Chicago Survivors, told me in April in a statement that amid a lawsuit and allegations that Andrew Holmes assaulted a former coworker, he was fired from this organization in April. So what does the Village say about this Vegas trip? In a statement to NBC5, the Village tells us that it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third-party company. It goes on to say Officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing nothing about the allegations. It says Ms. Dukes refused to cooperate with the investigation, and this is nothing more than two disgruntled Village employees. Now, neither Fania or Officer Byron Miles has addressed what the Village is saying, but Officer Byron Miles was on that trip. He's also filed a civil lawsuit against Mayor Henyard. He says that he was part of her security detail, and after speaking out about what allegedly happened in Vegas, he was taken off of her detail.
It's curious that neither one of them has responded. I mean, they're starting organizations and they got lawsuits going on, but they haven't responded to this particular third party. So this is from May 6th. This is from May 6th. So pause right there for a second here, right? So for the first time, the woman centered, all that kind of stuff, right? Dukes filed a lawsuit against Holmes and Henyard, accusing Holmes of assault and Henyard of retaliation. I'm fighting for every woman. She said in the pre-tape video, I'm fighting for a sister that doesn't have a voice, right? He made everyone feel comfortable. Duke said in the video, I've been in places with him by myself, and he's never made an inkling of he'll harm me. According to the lawsuit, after dinner, he was walking on the Las Vegas Strip with Holmes. Duke said she felt disoriented and ultimately blacked out. My last memory was me walking up in his room, she said. The lawsuit details a conversation between Dukes and Officer Byron Miles when they returned from Vegas. Miles was a member of Mayor Henyard's security detail at the time. Miles claimed Holmes told him that he had unprotected sex with Dukes in Las Vegas. The suit also alleges Holmes, in a video call to Miles, showed Dukes partially undressed in his hotel bed. Miles advised Dukes to seek medical care, according to the lawsuit. You were the only one who stood up for me and opened your mouth, and I appreciate you for that. According to the lawsuit, Dukes said she was fired shortly after bringing an accusation against Henyard. Miles was removed from his role in the mayor's security detail and demoted to patrol duty. Miles was also filed a civil lawsuit, and the Department of Human Rights launched an investigation. The village told NBC in a statement that it conducted a thorough investigation into the allegations led by an independent third-party company. I'm interested to know what that company is. It doesn't say in the rest of this who this company. I don't know if it's going to say in the lawsuit here. And here is another article. New sexual assault complaint, and this is by Fox 32 News. A new sexual assault complaint may have ties to Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard investigation. This is from March 15th. And this says that this was, the Village of Dolton issued this statement on the case. The Village of Dolton conducted a thorough investigation into these allegations. The investigation was led by an independent third-party company consisting of former law enforcement officers, none of whom have ever been affiliated with the Village of Dolton. Former police officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about these allegations. Also, despite numerous attempts by the village independent investigators to contact Ms. Dukes, she refused to give a statement or cooperate with our investigation. Unfortunately, this is nothing more than two disgruntled village employees who are trying to make off with taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village looks forward to defending these allegations and pursuing all other available remedies to the village. And this was from March 15th. Interesting. Are they changing their tunes? Let's get back to...
But the trustees, the village trustees of Dolton, they say there was never any third-party investigation, which is partly why they hired former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to lead an investigation. Every month, Dolton holds 2 village board meetings on the first and the third Monday. Every month, this always happens. Tiffany Henyard has missed 25 of those meetings. Where did I get this information? From trustee Jason House. So Dolton trustees have named Jason House as a mayor pro tem to fill in for Tiffany Henyard in the event she's absent from a meeting or otherwise unable to fill her duties. So again, remember, the trustees also voted to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate Henyard and the village's spending. But Henyard...
You know, it's veto power, so how dare you think you could come in someone's town and
Tiffany Henyard recently vetoed that hire, saying the village is not going to pay Lightfoot her $400 an hour. So far, there's been no response from Lori Lightfoot about this. She has said it's going to take 60 days to complete her investigation. So now...
I don't blame Henyard. I wouldn't have you either. Coming in here. What are you talking about? No, get out of here. I wouldn't do it either. Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff, man. The political games that are played often behind closed doors and stuff. So missing 25 of these. I wonder if it's in her charter how many she can miss, because of sick days or family business or vacations. I wonder if that's in their city charter or town charter or village charter or whatever. This lady, man, she is something else. So let's get back to it.
To the lawsuits. There's so many lawsuits. It's hard to keep track. There's so many of them. Some of the recent ones include one filed in federal court by Tyrone Isom Jr. So I talked to Tyrone, and he said he was really looking forward to starting his own business in Dolton. He said he wanted to help young people, and that's why he was doing this. He wanted to open up a barber shop and a tattoo shop. He bought a building for $85,000. He took all the money he had out of his savings to do this, to buy this building. It was going to be his dream. He says he remodeled it, did everything he was supposed to do. He claims his applications for a business license were denied with no explanation. He says at one point he was told flat out, the mayor wants this property. So he says he was forced to sell the property, never being able to open up his business. The village has declined to comment on a lawsuit. A police officer, also the latest public employee to file a lawsuit against the village of Dolton and Mayor Henyard. Jeffrey DeVries accuses Henyard of illegally promoting other officers when they didn't pass the tests and they weren't approved by the village. The lawsuit also accuses the mayor and police brass for tallying against him for reporting this and other alleged misconduct by fellow officers to the State Police Standards Oversight Board. So just two of the many lawsuits that have been filed against.
You know, political nepotism, cronyism, it's obvious. It's obvious that it's in every rank, man. But you know, law enforcement, you open yourself up to so many problems when you promote individuals who don't pass the test or are somehow unqualified. Excessive force complaints, you know, other types of complaints, lack of professionalism, conduct unbecoming, all these different types of complaints. You open yourself up to this stuff, and you know right. And this is, you know, mayors, town leaders, they look at their police departments as their own fiefdoms and security forces, and you know, you get things done. You know, you want to secure property, you want to get people off the street, you want to stop picketing, whatever it is, you use the police to do it. And so you keep them happy, right? You pay them, you know, you put them on special details where they can come with you on trips and to Vegas and other places, and that garners loyalty. And when you get that loyalty, it just continues to feed the big head. And but these are all allegations thus far. I mean, they're all allegations thus far, but you know, the old saying is that where there's smoke, there's fire. So
the mayor and the village. And finally, the law firm that represents Dolton in at least 19 lawsuits in Cook County and federal court has withdrawn from the cases due to not being paid. So a village official provided us with a letter that was dated April 24th, and the law firm sent this to the village, and it says, without being paid, we're going to step down from these cases. And that is what's happened. The next few months, I think they're going to be very interesting and very busy. And you know what? I'm going to be right here, trying my best to cover all of this and get it to you. That's my promise.
So, unless her husband doesn't want to move to Dolton or whatever is going on with that. So that's it with the case, man. But so let me know your thoughts, your opinion. This lady's got issues. All of these are allegations. They're lawsuits. They may just be disgruntled people. They may just be, you know, people who are, you know, the officer might have just been passed over and people just don't like her, and you know, but if this guy, you know, I'm not an expert on properties, you know, city property. It would be very, very interesting. Do they have to write or provide information as to why your application was denied? I mean, if it's not up to code or you owe back taxes or anything like that, we can get that, but just no explanation. Interesting. All these still allegations, and we'll stay tuned. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Much love and peace, everyone.